So parents have been asking us a lot of questions, especially about that report that we shared yesterday about a potentially deadly respiratory virus making the rounds in Denver. Respiratory syncytial virus, also known as RSV. It's a lot easier to say. It's a virus that blocks the airways, and babies born prematurely, 35 weeks or less, and babies with chronic lung disease or congenital heart disease may be at high risk for it. Children with asthma are also at high risk. So we want to get some answers here. Dr. Kaufman is here. He's an emergency room doctor. Glad you could spare a few minutes.
Thank you, Kim. Good to be on.
We talk about this a lot, and I know parents that have babies born in the winter, doctors warn, RSV. What can you do to prevent something like this?
Yeah, you know, it's tough. By the time we're 2 years old, just about everybody gets the RSV virus.
Right.
And for older people like us, we have such big airways that when we breathe, it's not that big of a deal. You get a cough, you get some sniffles. But for little kids, their airways are so small because they're just teeny little babies, right?
Right, and they can't blow things out or cough things out the same way. And
yeah, it's a very easy virus to get, and it's tough. The best thing you can do if you're a family member and somebody has a cough or cold, just assume that it's an RSV virus. We want to teach kids, family members, when you sneeze, when you cough, into the crook of your elbow. You know, if you do it on the hands and then you shake hands or something, you can get it through contact as well.
And everybody wants to hold that little baby, and that's part of the concern.
Right.
If you're a parent of a newborn and you're concerned that maybe they're sick, err on the side of caution, get them in, or?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you know that your child if you have an infant child and they have asthma or they've had some problems, you really want to protect them and keep them away from people who are just sick, because they might have an RSV virus. We don't think about, you know, healthy people having RSV, but we all get it.
Yeah, and you're not being rude if you say, please don't come by right now until you're better.
Right.
Norovirus is just getting tons of attention right now. And I mean,
sure is.
When you hear it, it sounds so nasty. And I was listening to the fact that you got to wash your sheets in really hot water, scrub everything down, use bleach. I mean, it spreads quickly.
Well, it's very, very contagious. It's a very contagious disease. And it's interesting because norovirus is really the stomach flu. It's what we all say is the stomach flu, but you can also get it from food poisoning, from contaminated food.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's so contagious. So it's very important to, you know, keep some alcohol-based antibacterial around. It's very important, if you have a stomach bug like that or an illness, realize that if you give that to someone who's older, or a baby, a child, an infant, that they're going to have a much tougher time with it. And the big problem, the thing that gets people, is dehydration.
Dehydration.
Yeah.
So both of these things, I'm curious, is it always that we hear about in the winter months? Is it worse in a colder climate like in Colorado, and because we're indoors, or does it matter?
Well, for RSV, yeah, there certainly is a season, and these things spread like wildfire in daycare and in confined areas, right? But, you know, outside of that, for norovirus, it's really kind of all over the place. It used to be rotavirus, but there's a vaccine now, and so now number one is norovirus. It's like they're competing to get us sick. So. Okay,
and last but not least, I just thought of this with RSV. I think I had heard years ago is that kind of watch your baby, how the breathing is, if the breathing is it right here, or if it's really heaving, that means they're having problems?
That's right, work of breathing. Now, if you see your child really work of breathing, if their nasal passages are flaring, if their nose is flaring out, that's right, the belly breathing, the retractions, which is like when you have indentations in between the ribs, that's a good sign that they're working against something. They've got mucus in their airways. And you might want to think about getting them into the ER and letting me take a look.
Yeah, because it really can be serious. A few years ago, one of our news anchors here, her daughter was in the hospital with RSV for a long time. Thankfully, she's going to turn 12. Happy birthday, Eliza, soon. But that's scary, frightening stuff.
It is, but you know, it's beautiful. Medicine nowadays and in our country is wonderful, and we can really turn things around. So err on the side of caution, get in early with both of those diseases, RSV and norovirus, and we can really take care of people.
All right. Well, we don't always like to hear about these things, but we got to be aware. Thank you, Dr. Kaufman. Thanks so much. Brandon, back to you.